Welcome, everyone. I'm delighted to see so many people here, some new and some previously familiar faces. I like to invite Dr. Drescher because we're starting late. We're changing the order. He's going first so he can leave afterwards, and then I'll be following, and then Lorraine Simmons. So we're really excited about this panel, and feel free to ask questions. It's about forgiveness and gratitude, and it's very important in peacekeeping and reconciliation to be mindful that without the forgiveness we can't really go anywhere, and also for our own healing as well, it's important for us to practice it. Thank you. So let's welcome Dr. Drescher. Scherer, I'm sorry, I keep saying Drescher. Douglas Scherer.
Thank you.
I came out with a new name.
Thank you. Hi. So I'm going to talk about forgiveness and mindfulness in the scope of forgiveness. And I only have the one slide, so you'll have to watch my hands sometimes. We're starting with the ethnic and religious conflict resolution, and then this talk is forgiveness, and then mindfulness, and I'm going to segment it even a little more up into self-care. I mean, all of these are very huge topics. In terms of self-care, there's a concept in mindfulness about equanimity. That is, and it ties into also non-duality, which is that we're all tied together. Thich Nhat Hanh calls it interbeing rather than just being. And so how I am as a being is also impactful about how we interact. So in terms of self-care, we're looking at what kinds of things pain me. And in my studies and work with mindfulness, I'm mainly working with people who are in chronic pain or suffering of one kind or another. On the other side of my research is a large background in transformational learning, and where the two meet is in finding different perspectives to come up with new meaning and to develop a new understanding of how we see things. So, and I noticed this morning that came up a couple of times, bringing people into a room and there's different meanings in the room and trying to come to resolution for those, right? And I know, the meaningful world has a core of working with meaning in people. So when you work with transformational learning and you work with mindfulness, coming into the moment, being yourself, your authentic self in that moment, is bringing you to the space where you can actually open yourself up to understanding other people's new meanings and understanding and seeing things in new ways. No, thanks. I only got the one slide, so I'm good. Yeah, thanks. But keep it here because they'll want it.
I'll use it then.
Yeah. So I just wanted to walk through, so this is just a little poem that Thich Nhat Hanh uses to kind of walk through the concepts of mindfulness. And the working definition that I'm going to use today is being aware in the present moment without judgment. And non-judgment means not judging your meaning, not judging my meaning, but also not judging in a way that if I'm meditating or whatever kind of practice I'm doing for my own mindfulness work, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm being more mindful than I was yesterday or than the other person, or I'm going deeper, or I'm reaching nirvana, or whatever it is. The non-judgment is just that if you take that away, you're able to be in the present moment and being aware, right? And the non-judgment is also, oh, look, I'm being there. I'm a great meditator, right? That's not part of it. So if you, when you bring the non-judgment in, it also allows you to free yourself from, I was going to say desire, but it's not really the greatest word. Well, I'll use it for now. Sorry?
Attachment.
Yeah, attachments, exactly. Attachments to goals, attachments to ways of being, and not allowing yourself to open and free yourself from your habits of mind, right? Habits of mind being also, if you're judging, you're prejudging, habits of mind force you into making assumptions, right? And if you're dealing with forgiveness and you're dealing with conflict resolution, you're coming with assumptions. And there was a gentleman just at the end who answered a question just before that session left. And someone asked, what do you recommend? When you go into a session, he said, listening. I don't know if he used the word listening, but that was, he said, I want to hear what they need. I'm not coming in with prejudgments. I'm coming in with listening for what they need. And in terms of this, it falls into the idea of deep listening, listening to people's real needs with compassion. So the in and out part of it is the meditative part of it. So that's just breathing in, being aware that I'm breathing in, being in this present moment. I'm just being aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. I feel the urge to try that with you right now. So let's try that. So just focusing in and just feeling contact with your chair or your feet on the floor. Let's just try being aware. And you don't even have to close your eyes at start. But just when you're breathing in, not even adjusting the breath, but just noticing as it's coming in. Feeling it. Where does it land? Does it land in your chest? Does it land down? Breathing out. How far out? Have you ever noticed how far out the breath comes when you breathe out? Is it maybe warmer than when it started? Breathing in, being aware that you're breathing in, and perhaps going a little deeper if you want to close your eyes for a second. Just being in this moment. And now opening your eyes again and coming back. And the deep, slow part of it is when you do that for, days and years and even just 20 minutes. The deep and slow is you'll start noticing that your breath is changing. So, and not that you want to try to change it, because that's the desire, that's the attachment, right? That, I need to breathe here, I need to breathe in my belly, right? So all this work is to bring you to a state of awareness to be able to open to other folks' meanings and to be able to forgive. So the other part of the deep slow is as you start seeing it go into your belly and the breath is going more and more into your belly, it starts actually engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, right? And what that means, so you have the sympathetic nervous system that's more in the flight, so that starts getting your adrenaline going and all that kind of stuff. The meditation part of it is bringing you down into the belly. When you start doing the belly breathing, that's engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, which is bringing you calmer down, more calmed down, bring you in the present moment. Instead of get out of here, it's be here. And the calm ease is, again, the non-striving, that this meditation shouldn't be torture. Prayer shouldn't be torture. I'm sitting here, I have to be here. The more you're straining and the more it brings in the suffering part of it. We're trying to alleviate the suffering. And then the last piece is, I'm not sure how I'm doing on time. Okay. I think I have another 2 minutes. Okay. So the smile release part, and this is kind of more where the rubber meets the road, is in the letting be and letting go. So this is where I brought a prop. I just ran out the door, and my dog Felix is going to be very angry that I have this with me. But that's not forgiving. I'm so angry, I'm holding on to that, right? So that's not forgiving. That's you in the anger part. Okay, so releasing, letting be, is opening space around that. And I believe you'll talk about the difference between forgiving and forgetting, right? And not forgetting. this is not forgetting. This is allowing space for this thing to be in your life, right? And not stressing, I have to let it go, I have to let it go, but it's ruminating in your brain, right? This is allowing it to be. And letting go, the problem with, and that's the forgetting part, which is problematic because you lose control of the whole thing. There's no growth there. Right? So, and then I'll just close out with the piece of this is forgiving for self-care. And with equanimity, that impacts also the other person. Thanks.